Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your boy, Mike, the philosopher. And today I have a special guest. TJ is in the building, and she is going to give the female perspective on the rankings. Because I said, it's probably not fair that I'm just ranking the women. I need some female energy in here to help me rank some of the men. And TJ is going to help us out today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it to you first, TJ, about the men, because I ranked the women last week. And
Okay.
yeah, so if you can now start from the bottom. So your number 10 or your number 9 or 10 guy, I believe it's number 9. Yeah. So start from your low end guy and then work your way up.
Okay. There's about three guys that I really don't know about still.
Okay.
So I would have to say Phil.
Go.
He's my 10th one just because I don't know anything about him, his personality, his looks is I would say a 5
Okay.
for his looks. His personality, I would say, just because he went to go pick up Aisha when she got into the car
Oh,
accident, that was a good gesture. So
yes.
I would just say 5 for that too. So just
5?
5 around the board. Yeah,
Okay.
just because I don't know him yet, and I don't know, you know.
Got you.
Um, my next one is Frank. Um, I would put him at a 5, but he's not really my type. Um, he likes to joke. He seems like he likes to have fun. So it seems like he's a very outgoing guy, which I like. So
Hmm.
I would say 6 for his personality so far from what I've picked up.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
And then Naeem, I believe that's how you
9.
pronounce it.
Okay.
Um, so he's a 6.5 for me.
And
I
looks?
think yeah, in looks, I think he's about a 6.5. Um, I would say he's about a 6 as far as personality so far. What I see is he's a very good listener.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he seems like he's really just kind-hearted.
Mm.
So that's kind of what I picked up, but I still got to fill him out as well, just
Pay,
because
pay
I
attention,
wasn't.
fellas. This is what the ladies is looking at. So, okay.
Yeah, he seems like a really good gentleman, along with Dante. I think he's a 6.5 too, as far as
Dante.
looks.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um, he seems to be like a good listener too. Both him and Dante seem to hang around each other a lot. I noticed that.
Mm.
But they both seem to be very good listeners. They both seem to be really good gentlemen, and so that's the type of guy that females, they like the gentleman, the chivalry type, and
Right.
that's what
Right.
they seem like.
Okay.
So um, now Carrington, actually, I should have put Carrington as number 10.
Mm.
And the reason why I say that is he seems a little arrogant. He comes off a little cockyish, like he has an attitude when you tell him something, you can't give him a critique without
Mm.
him kind of clapping back.
Right.
And that's not a good look for a guy to just clap back, especially to a female. Especially if she's trying to give her opinion. As far as looks, I would have to say at first I rated him as a 6, but after kind of filling him out, he dropped to a 4 as far as looks, just because his personality to me was a 3.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not feeling Carrington at all. They need to
vote him out.
I just yeah.
Wow.
And I think didn't they
world.
boot? I think he was the one that they did boot out, and he needed to go. So,
okay.
Cornelius, I like that he's spiritual.
Okay.
As far as looks, I gave him a 5. He's decent, you know. Just because he has the spiritual values, then I feel like morally there's things that he won't do, which is good. I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
Can
Other
you name
females,
some of those things that he won't do?
I would say like the sex before marriage.
Yeah.
He believed in that, the no sex before marriage.
Mm-hmm.
He believes in praying with his girlfriend or wife, doing things like that. So I just feel like since he's a man of God, then to me, his personality, it brought his personality up to a 6.5.
Okay.
And and let me just say, not every female is looking for that. I have to just go by me personally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because believe me, I have a lot of friends that are like, girl, You know, a lot of friends who are like Courtney, who's like, I got to have it before. I got to try it out.
Right, Courtney. Yeah.
So
gotta test drive it first, huh?
Right. And that's what a lot of people say, you know, which is fine. You know, they have definitely a right to say that because people have different needs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So for him, I rated his personality a 6.5. Walter, I liked him because he was vulnerable. He talked about his wife. I think when a man can be vulnerable, because a lot of times in these days, men feel like they have to be really strong. They can't cry. They can't show emotion.
Right.
But because he was vulnerable and he talked about his wife dying and how hard that was for him, that kind of made me connect to him a lot better. I say as far as his looks, I rated him a 6, but because of the vulnerability, I rated his vulnerability a 7.
So his personality overall.
His personality,
yeah, a 7. Okay.
Personality a 7.
Gotcha.
And he was one of those that was with Courtney. He has to have sex. He has to have sex.
Yeah, he was.
So,
he was right there.
I'm like,
and he didn't. You notice he didn't hesitate on that question either.
No.
I mean, when she asked it, he was like, "Yep, you gotta do it. You gotta."
Right.
So,
And when she put her hand on Cornelius' thigh, he was like, "You can do that to me."
Right.
So yeah, I mean, to each his own. So right. I'm not gonna judge him on that. That's not something I would judge him on. Right. But Tyrone, I guess I didn't go in the order that you had said.
No,
I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Tyrone, okay, so he's saying he has PTSD. I like that he was vulnerable.
Right.
But as far as looks, for me, I would give him a 2.
Wow.
He just seemed very awkward. I didn't like how his eyes seemed big all the time. Like he was a deer in headlights.
Right.
Like, yeah, like something was going on and he was surprised all the time. was not really attracted to him
Got you.
at all. I don't, if I seen him going down the street, I wouldn't even give him a
Stop.
glance.
Wow.
No. Personality, I gave him a 5 just because he seems to he's trying not to be awkward. He's trying to get to know the ladies, but he's just very awkward to me. So
right.
But there are some ladies in the group that are feeling him. So, and I guess it's his personality.
Got you.
Corey, oh my goodness, I don't even know. Now, Corey is the epitome of a scumbag.
Wow.
Like, that copy paste thing, that is such a turn off. He from the first time he spoke, it completely turned me off.
Wow.
Because he has this arrogance about him. He reminds me of someone who I know that was like that. And it's just a turn off, and he's too aggressive. And he just thinks that all the ladies is just gonna fall all over him.
Right.
Which is not the case. So his looks, I gave him a 4 just because his personality to me is a 2. I hope that I really wanted them to get rid of him.
Did you know that he went to go help out Ming? I think he fixed her flat tire or something like that.
Yeah, he fixed her. That did not change my perception of him at all.
Okay.
At all. And
it changed her perception of him when he did that.
It did.
And
I can see, I guess.
So you got someone.
If a guy was to help me with my tire and nobody else was, helping me, my perception would change a little bit. But then once they went on the date, he started becoming a little aggressive to me.
Yeah.
If I don't know you like that, I don't want you touching all over me. He's getting behind her like he's straddling a horse. And
right.
That, for me, would have made me feel uncomfortable as a woman, and I don't know you yet to get comfortable like that. You know what I'm saying?
He gave off creepy vibes.
Huh?
He gave off creepy vibes.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was like, why do you feel like you have to try so hard?
Right.
So for me, obviously it made her feel a little uncomfortable, but then at the same time, she seemed like she was liking the attention.
Yeah, that too. I noticed that.
So yeah, I think he did a good gesture, but that did not change how I still felt about him, because he ended up at the end being too aggressive and creepy.
Right.
So those are all my scores, and I guess I'll let you take it from there.
Cool. All righty. Well, let me go. I'm just gonna go in no particular order. Same order I had last week. So I had Shiloh. Okay. Now Shiloh her looks were about a number 6 I gave her. I'm still on the 6 for this episode. Her personality was 7, but I boosted her personality up to 8. Okay.
Okay. So what made?
I'm feeling Shiloh. She's dope. She's dope. I like her personality. She said some things. Now, what really got me about Shiloh is that she didn't have to tell the other girls this, but she was transparent with the girls. One of the girls said something, one of the guys called her, and she kind of let the other sisters know, look, this is the real, this is what happened. He called me. She just doesn't seem to have any, any cold-hearted spirit or anything at all. She's very transparent. And then when she said, when it was talking something about physical touch as her love language, and then the guy rubbed her on the side,
right?
She was kind of melting when he
right.
did that.
She said, "Okay."
Yeah. So I like that about her. That's why she really went up in my rankings. So I got her 6 looks wise, but her personality did change from a 7 to an 8 in this episode.
Okay.
Number 2, I got Courtney. Courtney, I had her at a 7. I did bump her up to a 7.5. She is a beautiful woman.
She is.
And her personality, I had a 5.5. I changed that to a 6.
Okay, so what made you change your mind?
Well, because she's what I call a nice aggressive. Okay. And what I mean by that is she's not kind of scared to let the guy know what she wants, and like she wants to do that. She wants to do that intimacy, you know what I mean? But she don't need the marriage yet. So she's kind of a woman who knows what she wants and kind of knows how to get it, so to speak. And I didn't see anything negative in her personality this episode. I seen more of some things that I liked versus some things I didn't in the second episode. So I did bump her up because, So
do you think that her saying about the sex, is that part of kind of what bumped you up?
Well, it didn't hurt her. Let me put it that way. But, it wasn't just about that. It was just mainly because I seen maybe a softer side of her this episode than I did in the first episode. Okay. I just got a broader range of her personality. Okay, so that's why I bumped her.
I remember you saying last week you didn't like an alpha.
Yeah, well, she woman. And what I noticed is that, like I said, she's a nice aggressive, right? Okay. So now that could quickly turn nasty aggressive. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I will be watching out for that. Mm-hmm. But right now she's a nice aggressive. She's kind of on her, best behavior, I think, right now. And I'm liking that. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So I did bump her up. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 3 is Camille. Camille, I had her at a 6.5 in looks. I still got her there this episode. That hasn't changed. And I had her at a 6 personality. I just bumped her up a half a notch to 6.5. Camille has one of those personalities that's really hard not to like, especially if you're a guy. She has a very bubbly personality, very feminine personality, and that feminine energy really attracts men. I think she got game, really, is what I think. Okay. But I can't be mad at that. She got female game. But, at the same time, I'm worried about her too. And the reason I'm worried about her is because I'm wondering if it's her or if it's her representative that I'm seeing. And I'm thinking I'm seeing her representative right now.
And so why do you think you're seeing her representative? You don't think that, because to me, when you say that you think she's running game, I feel like that is genuinely just her. And her personality.
It could be, and it's very magnetic to a lot of men. Just her personality. But what I noticed about her is she loved to ask everybody else questions, but she don't really answer no questions herself. Okay. One of the things I kind of didn't like about her, but is she brung one of the guys on a second date. So because she wanted to see how the guy will react with Courtney. You see what I'm saying? When they went double dating, she brought Will. Yeah, she brought Will. And yeah, she and it was like, come on, don't do that. Don't test the guy, because Courtney touched the guy.
Right.
You remember they was talking about, sex
Yeah.
after before, and she touched the guy, and then, look, why set yourself up to get upset? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you're gonna have a resentment towards him, and then it's gonna be your own fault for setting this double date up. You know what I mean? I just don't think that she's giving me her authentic self. I haven't seen her in a vulnerable position. I haven't knocked her for it yet, but I'm gonna be watching for it in the next episodes.
I think we're talking about the same thing. So I'm still trying to get to know the people as far as who's who, as far as the looks. So if it's who you're talking about, then I feel like she's a little territorial when it comes to Cornelius, because is she the one that was saying she's spiritual and she prays over her man? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, she
dark skin, beautiful chick or cute chick. Yeah.
And so what I did notice that she seems to be very territorial of Cornelius, the spiritual guy. And it's like, she doesn't want as soon as somebody mentions Cornelius.
Yeah. Or they got a connection with him. That's another thing. She's very animated. She make a ton of faces, like, like,
So she's looking like, wait, what? So when they were like, he called me too. And she's looking like, wait, what? That's my man. Mm-hmm. So she's already putting dibs on him. And it reminds me of the chick from last season. I don't know. I can't remember her name, but she was dark skinned. And she was very territorial of her dude from last season. And he was like, we're here to find love. Why are you getting jealous? I'm not your man. I'm not your dude.
The chick looked like Aunt Viv. I don't know. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. So she was very territorial. She was almost stalkerish with it, but so that's kind of who what did you say her name was again? Who? The last season? I think Denise, I think her name was.
This season. The one you're talking about. Oh, this season,
Camille.
Camille, okay. So I just feel like Camille is kind of like her. So I think you might be right now that I think about it, because her true colors shows when it comes to this dude. So I feel like if she ends up being in a relationship, she might have them jealous vibes. She might have those, over possessive vibes.
Another red flag for me is that I think she said she got like 3 or 4 engagements. And she's I think she got rid of all of them. I'm trying to judge her as if I didn't see her interview, but knowing her interview, it's like, you've been engaged that many times and you were a runaway bride all the time. Like,
you couldn't commit.
That's a huge red flag to me.
Yeah.
I haven't really.
That was kind of how I felt about Carrington when he said he never had been in a relationship, and I wanted Aisha to ask, like, why? What was the problem?
Yeah, that would have been a good question to ask. I'm surprised Aisha didn't ask him that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like 32 or something like that, and she's 38. But
he was 30. Yeah. Mm-hmm,
like
you're
32,
right.
3 or something like that. But in your 30s and you've never been in a relationship. I mean, he's a CEO of a marketing firm, which is dope. But you can kind of account for where his time has been going. But he has a work ethic. But why are you so socially awkward? Why are you so relationship awkward? Why haven't you had any relationships? I mean, that's kind of hard to imagine somebody
going that long
yeah.
So I wanted her to ask why. And the same with Camille, like, I would have asked, like, well, I don't know, has she told anyone else, or that was just her interview, right? She didn't tell anybody else that she has, been engaged a few times, did she?
No, I don't know. I think it was just in her interview.
Okay.
Just in her interview. But let me get to number 4. Number 4 is Ming. I had gave her a 6 in the first episode, but I knocked her down to a 5.5 in looks. I didn't really think that she was. Yeah, a second look at her, she kind of dropped looks wise.
She dropped.
Yeah.
Okay.
In personality, I didn't really get a good gauge of her. I gave her a 5.5, but I bumped her up to a 6. So she kind of went the opposite way in looks and in personality.
Okay. And what made you bump her up?
Listen, if you can find something good about Corey, okay, there's something good within yourself, because you could find something redeeming in something like this in this brother. You must have a spirited heart. So
I give you that.
Yeah. I mean, is it going to work with Corey? I doubt it, but she at least showed me that she was willing to connect with somebody. It just happened to be him. And, I find that to be a bit redeeming when you can, find the good in people,
Yeah.
So I did bump her up for that reason. Number 5, I got Aisha. I had her at a 5.5 in looks. I bumped her up to a 6.
Really?
In looks, yeah. Now I know there's some women who out there like, Aisha, she ain't that, she ain't all that.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah. See, and funny because she got like a face like she's related to Cicely Tyson. You know what I mean? She just got that type of Cicely Tyson face, right?
Okay. Not Cicely Tyson.
Yeah, she looked like she's her granddaughter or something. The thing about Aisha in looks, though, she got a nice body. I would consider she has my body type. And that's why I did bump her up.
That's a little different, though, because the physique does not.
Oh, that's a look. That's a look.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You think? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess men, because to me, a woman could have the ugliest face but have a banging body.
True.
So I feel like, to me, those are two different things. Just like a dude can have a banging body, but his face ain't.
Right, but it all calculates to one number, right?
Okay.
So if you got an ugly face and a banging body, you could be a 5, or you know what I mean, and vice versa. You can have a nice face and a bad body and still be a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So it all accounts for the entire look. But I just like her body type, her frame.
The petite. You like
the petite and the curvy.
Mm-hmm.
And she got that. I ain't feeling those tattoos.
Oh.
That's where she drops on looks for me. Is she got way too many tattoos. And it just my whole view on it is, if you're a Rolls Royce, you don't need a bumper sticker, right?
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? You could shine just being a Rolls Royce. You don't need frilly stuff to boost you up. You're a Rolls Royce. So
now, if a woman has a small little tattoo.
No, I'm not. I'm not against small little tattoos or well placed tattoos or anything like that. But when it's covering up a lot of the body, then it becomes a little tacky. Just my opinion. It becomes a little tacky. Be classy with it, and put it someplace where it's not so seen by the entire public or whatever. I just don't, it doesn't scream feminism or feminist. or
Yeah, and I
feminine to
think
me,
she
you know?
said she had a full back sleeve of her family.
Yeah, yeah. And, I get it and dedicating that to the family and all that, but it just aesthetically, it just doesn't look the best. I mean, I don't even think you can donate blood if you have that many tattoos. You
Oh,
know,
really?
yeah,
Wow.
you really can't donate blood because of I don't know if they're afraid of contaminants or whatever the case may be, but yeah, you can't don't at least right away after you do it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, so yeah, she has a body type, and she went up to well, no, I take that back. Yeah, she went up in personality. I had her at a 6 in personality. I bumped her up to a 6.5. One thing
Okay.
I liked about Aisha is that she did show a vulnerable side, right? She showed
Yeah.
her vulnerable side when she started talking about her kids
Yeah.
and talking about going to therapy. She said she didn't want to come out here damaged. She wanted to come
Right.
out here fixed, a whole woman. And I'm all for people who trying to better themselves. So the fact that she said she went to therapy, I think that showed a good part of her character and her trying to grow as a person. And I did bump her personality up for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty dope for her. So, and number 6, I got Zadia. I had her at a 5 in the first episode. I bumped her up to a 6, an entire point.
Okay.
She do got a nice little frame on her, like an athletic build.
Yeah.
I thought that was dope. And one thing I noticed is when she smiles, she looks like Gabrielle Union. Just for a second, she looks like Gabrielle Union when she smiles. Next time you see her, you'll probably see what I'm talking about. Personality wise, I had her at a 4.5.
Really? Why
Yeah,
so low?
because her interview was horrible. She said she liked to talk smack to her men, and you got to just get used to it. She gave off buddy vibes, friend
Okay.
vibes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't see enough softness in her as a woman.
Okay.
But I did bump her up to a 5 this episode. I thought she did a pretty good job on her date that she was with. I forgot the guy's name, but she seemed to be better in the second episode than in the first. I didn't really see much of her in the first episode. I just got a better feel for her, so I bumped her up to a 5 personality wise. And
So now,
we'll see how it goes.
is she the one that's like a personal trainer or healer?
I think so.
Okay.
But she's kind of dry in her personality, though.
You
You know
think
what I
so?
mean?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
I'm surprised to hear that.
yeah. She's just kind of dry. She doesn't, even though she got, I did bump her up in looks. She just seemed dry, and I'm wondering where this is going to go. Like she's almost the opposite of Camille's personality, right?
So, okay, so you're more attracted to the upbeat type of woman.
Well, all men are attracted to feminine, feminine women. They're just more attracted to them. I don't
But
get
there's
a lot
feminine.
of but I don't get a lot of feminine from her because I'm not. I mean, she might display it in her looks, but I'm not seeing it in her personality yet. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I guess I don't. I mean, but that's from a man's perspective. I don't know. As a female, I thought that men would be really attracted to her and really like her personality just because based off of what she does, and she's into, fitness and healing and talking about people's mental and things like that. So
Yeah, but I haven't really seen anything that
outside of
screamed
that?
out, yeah, screamed out feminine to me in her interactions with the men. I didn't see that
Okay.
in her interview either. It was
Okay.
all, oh yeah, you be around me and my family, we're gonna talk smack, we're gonna do this. You gotta deal with it, or you're gonna be soft or whatever the case may be. She just didn't give a whole lot of feminine vibes to me.
Okay.
Mentally. Physically, she's working with something, but mentally, not so much. I'm still waiting on that. So she's at a
Okay.
5 now. So maybe next episode I'll see more, and she can go up. You know. This number 7 is Sabrina. Sabrina I had at a 7, and this episode I have a 7.5. Sabrina is a gorgeous woman.
She is.
She is. You know what? If you place like one of those red or white Egyptian hats on her, I swear she could be Nefertiti. She has a very royal look to her, very regal. You know what I mean?
I think it's the way she carries herself.
Well, that too. She's a bit taller, so she does carry herself, very, stand straight up and very regal everywhere she goes. So yeah, you're right. It's how she carry herself.
Yeah.
But she's dope. Like I said in my first episode, she would probably be the one I would be the most physically attracted to, out the gate, just because of her exotic look, so to speak.
Yeah.
Personality wise, I had her at a 6. I bumped that up too to a 6.5. I just like her personality. She hasn't really done anything to make me think any otherwise. She's pretty cool.
And she was vulnerable too.
Yeah, and she was vulnerable at some point and transparent, and I like that.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think her name is Kari or Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Yeah, I had her at a 5 in looks in the first episode. Just wasn't drawn to her like that. But I bumped her up to a 5.5 in looks this time. She's not that bad a looking a woman. She just don't have much to really grab you as a guy, as far as I can see, And I had her personality at an 8.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I had her personality up high. I really liked her personality, but I dropped it down to a 7.5 this episode.
Okay, so why was it so high at first, and then what?
Well,
happened?
she gave the best interview of all the ladies at first.
Okay.
I really liked what she was saying and how she was moving and all of that, but that made me see a bit of her personality. It's funny because it seemed like the women who did when they did their interview, they're completely different than how they acted in their interview. Like if I was going just by the interview, I think Sabrina's interview sucked. I think that, yeah, I thought that a lot of the ladies' interviews sucked pretty bad. But when they start to meet the men, it's sort of like a different vibe they're giving off. I'm noticing, and that's funny. That's weird to me.
I think that, like you said, people's representative comes out.
Yes.
When you meet the opposite sex, that tends to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what the case was.
Yeah, and that's why I got to judge them every episode, because I get a better feel for who they are, and that's why I dropped her down to a 7.5. I mean, so we'll see about that, but and Tanisha, or I believe her name is Tashia or Tanisha, I had her at a 6. I left her at a 6 looks wise. I had her personality as an 8, but I dropped her down to a 7.5 too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made you do that?
It wasn't anything really that I don't know. It's more of a vibe that I'm getting from her. Maybe an entitlement vibe, because I know she was real upset when she was at the bottom on the first episode.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the residue of the last episode, is just a little bit of entitlement and a little bit of I only bumped her down only a point, half a point, down personality wise. So I'm just still watching her. But
I think though that anybody, when you feel like the crowd is liking you and you're getting vibes from different people, and then all of a sudden you find out that you're in the bottom 2, that is gonna kind of make you feel a certain way, because you're shocked, because you're thinking, okay, I'm connecting with these people and I'm vibing with these people, so
right.
But I mean, the way she carried herself, or the way she went about it, when she found out she was at the bottom, I don't think that was classy,
Right,
and then,
right.
The following week to kind of interrogate the guys, like, why did you put me in the bottom?
Yeah, and that was I'm glad you brought that up. That was another thing. She went to the guys and she was kind of cross-examining all the guys, and I mean, I get it, but I don't know. It just came off a little entitled to me. So I was just like, I gotta bump her down, because she's interrogating all the guys. Like, you can't just strong arm your way, you know what I mean? In the top 5, you gotta earn that position. So that's why I'm glad you brought that up. That's the reason why I knocked her down a half a point at least. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let me give you my top five that I think is going to be there. And if you got a top 5 guys, let me know what that is. All right, I'm gonna go first. All right, number 5, I do got Tanisha. I can see myself with her. I could see her being one of the top 5 to last. I do think she got a good personality. She got a good look to her. I think she's a little fluffy, but that can come in handy in winter nights.
In the winter, right?
For real. And she probably can cook. So, so for that reason, I gave her. She's number 5. Number 4 was somebody who was once in the top 3, but is no longer in the top 3. She's number 4. It's Camille.
Oh, Camille.
Yeah, okay. I got her at number 4 now, because I want to see. I don't want to see a representative. I want to see the real you. I want to see more authenticity. I know you got this personality, this bubbly, nice personality down, and it's likable to a lot of men, but I'm wondering if this is an act. I've seen this before, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I want to see some more vulnerability from her.
Okay.
Number 3, I got Courtney. Courtney is just a down chick. She's nice looking. And like I said, nice, aggressive, and that could be a good thing in a lot of different ways. So she knows what she wants. I have no immediate issue with Courtney at this particular moment. Okay. I am watching out for her too, because I'm wondering when that nice aggressive gonna turn nasty aggressive. But at the same time, I'm not knocking her for that right now. I'm just going by what I see.
Okay.
Number 2, shot up the rankings, Shiloh. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Shiloh shot up the rankings. She's number 2. She ain't necessarily got the looks of the others, but she got the personality. I think that's the best right now. I could easily see myself with her, because of her personality and her looks. Sometimes that'll trump good looks. The personality will
Yeah.
trump
Oh,
good
yeah.
looks.
Yeah.
For both men and women.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're right.
and that's why she shot up the rankings to me. I'm feeling her vibe. So she's number 2. And number 1 is still Sabrina. Sabrina
Okay.
is still number 1. You know, for all obvious reasons. And just go from there. So
Okay.
those are the rankings. Let me get your 5.
My 5, I would start off with probably Walter as number 5.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like he's outgoing and fun. I like his personality. Like I said, I liked his vulnerability about him talking about his wife dying. And let's see. So that is my 5. My number 4, I would have to say Dante.
Okay.
Actually, Dante and Naeem, to me, they're tied, really.
Okay.
So they would be both my number 4. Just because they seem like they're really good listeners. I feel like they're both attractive, the same. They both had a 6.5. They're very good listeners from what I could see right now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I would have to say those are just my type 3. Everybody else, to me, this was not a good cast as far as the men.
I was gonna ask you that. Like, what do you compared to previous seasons?
Yeah, compared to previous seasons, I was more attracted to, men from last season, a lot more men than I was this season. This season, they just seem to be more on the average looking side.
Was last season Houston?
Last season was Houston, and
Okay.
I was more attracted to those men in Houston.
Gotcha.
Than I was this. So I would have to say I only have the 3. I don't have 5. The rest of them, they just weren't doing it really for me.
Gotcha.
As far as looks wise, personality, they were all kind of, it was just maybe 5s across the boards, a couple of 2s and 3s here, but I just wasn't feeling them. I'm not feeling them this year.
I have to say, this season, I don't think the women are really up to par either.
Yeah.
For the men, there were a lot more attractive women in previous seasons.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Like in this season, you really only got maybe 2 or 3 that's top notch, but the rest of them were kind of basic, if I'm being honest. Kind of basic.
No.
So
I mean, and I feel the exact same way. So when I seen this season, like, I was so excited until I seen the actual
cast,
people. And then I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I can get into this season or not.
Yeah, I know.
But definitely, hands down, last season, that they had a really nice looking cast.
Yeah. And you're not the first to say that too. There's some others that have said that. Some other women have said that about the men.
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm saying that about the women. It's just not. It's really no comparison. No shot to DC or nothing, but they just didn't have. I don't know who picked the people. I mean, something probably could be said about that, but
yeah.
It just wasn't
up
to par as to other seasons.
And with them saying that DC is Chocolate City, you would think that there would be some really beautiful people coming out of that state. You
I'm
know what I'm
sure it
saying?
still is some people there. I mean, just people who probably agreed to be on the show
True.
just wasn't, top notch
Yeah.
or what we used to seeing on that show. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think they
You're
kind
right.
of downgraded on both sides in looks, at least,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. If
Hmm.
there's okay, out of the guys, and we start to do this. Out of the guys, who do you think is going to be the first to be let go? And I'm gonna tell you about the women. Who should they let go of the guys?
They need to let go of Corey. He needs to go.
Right, right, right.
I just don't like, especially when he went to Sabrina and was like, "Let me ask you a question. Do you find me attractive?" I was like, "Are you serious, dude?
Yeah, I
You're
mean
doing the two can play that game type of
he's a
line.
cornball. He's a cornball, man.
They need to just. He needs to go.
Yeah, he is not ready to love. I don't think he'll ever be ready to love.
No,
You
no.
know.
I can't see it. Not for him. So he really needs to go next.
Right,
That's
right.
who I would like to see go next, I should say.
Okay,
How
okay.
about you?
Um, I think they're gonna get rid of Kari or Kyrie. I think they're gonna,
Kyrie.
yeah, I think they're gonna let her go. I don't really see her making any connections with anyone.
Okay.
I see her getting a lot of phone calls from guys, but not actual dates.
Really?
Um, yeah, I haven't really seen her go out with anybody.
Okay.
So my prediction would be that Kyrie is probably going to be the next to go. If not her, Ming. But I think that Ming is kind of, you know, putting herself next to Corey.
Yeah.
So they probably will try to keep each other alive as much as possible. But I can see that whole duo getting eliminated in the
Yeah.
next couple weeks. So yeah, Corey, and I would say either Kyrie or Ming. I think those two ladies are on a hot seat, and they should start making some connections with other men because I'm not seeing them doing that right now. So
Yeah.
yeah. So well, there is the list. Thank you for joining me, TJ. You did an
Of
awesome
course.
job. Yeah, and you got the
Thanks for
guys.
having me.
Yeah, anytime. You got the guys nailed down pretty good. So I think that was pretty dope. Well, thanks again for joining us. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I don't. I look forward to next week and
Yeah,
hopefully, it gets a little better
yeah,
next week.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we can,
exactly.
I just hope I could fill out some more of the guys to kind of get, you know, they only showed a few guys as far as their personality and everything. So
Right,
there's
right,
a lot of guys that I didn't get a chance to really fill out because they weren't in the clips long enough.
right. Yeah, I think they will, like, especially when it's like elimination days.
Yeah,
And the men have the power. They tend to show the men's personality more.
yeah.
So we'll probably see more of that next week. So tune in.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'm glad you joined. And hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe button to check out more reviews. And since Black Man Rankings covered it, now it's official. Peace.